Hello there, it's me, earthmanbrick, and we're back with another MDF kit. And this one is from TTCombat, part of the Wild West range, the Pitchstone Crossroads, which seems to be 4 buildings all strung together, which isn't too bad. Now, I believe that these buildings don't come apart, they're actually attached together directly in some ways, but we'll figure it out as we're kind of attaching it all together. And I thought I might try something a bit different this time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this open. I'm going to get out all the push-outs at this stage of the video. So just take off this cellophane and pop that there. And let's look at all the individual sheets now. As you can see, it tells you there, it comes on 8 MDF sheets. There's no instructions on the back. I'm surprised there's anything on the back. Seems a bit crazy. But there should be, yep, there is a QR code there for the instructions, which you can get online. Alternatively, if you go into the instructions section on the TTCombat website, you look up that sort of code and you'll be able to find them no problem. But yeah, let's look at these sheets. So we've got one of the buildings can be a bathhouse. That's pretty cool. We've got a few little push-outs here, so I'll just grab those while we can. There we go. I maybe should have brought some tools just to pick up these bits. There we go. Nice little square piece out of one of the windows. And I think that's it for that one. So yeah, nice little bathhouse sign. Very cool. And I think what I'm going to do as well, I won't do this on camera, but I'm going to break out a whole bunch of Sharpies and whatnot. Jingsy, there's a lot of push-outs here for the windows. And this one, look at all that. Great. I'm going to have a menagerie of bits. So, no signs on this one, but some nice all-in-one piece kind of buildings. It's nice wear and tear and some bricks exposed. Looks nice. And yeah, I think I'm going to use Sharpies to sort of color the accents of the buildings. And I'm going to use this spray paint to sort of base coat it as well. So I'll just pop those in the side there. Oh, just pop this cellophane in my pocket so I don't forget it. And here's the next one. Oh, another push out. There's another little one. Yeah, usually I use tweezers to help pop these out, but lack of hindsight. There's a nice rectangular piece. So yep, no signs on this one. But yeah, the building looks good. Unfortunately, you don't get any doorknobs, so I think the easiest solution towards getting those on is just to use a rhinestone maybe and paint it black or something. And here's another one without any rhinestones, but we've got lots of little push-outs again. This is a treasure trove, this. Lots of push-out bits. I'll show them all at the end in a big pile. Jingsy, some of these are a lot harder to push out than you'd think. Fortunately, I have another piece of MDF here that might do the trick. No, this one's jam-packed in. Yeah, it hasn't fully lasered the piece. So I'll rely on our friend, the cable tie here. See if this will do the trick. Nope. I need something a bit heavier. Maybe I'll use the end of the cable tie. Nope, that's not working. I'll just leave those in for now. But yeah, no signs on that one. Oh, we've got a Clementine's sign on this one. Do we have any push-outs? Yes, we've got one there. And one here. And one here. There we go. So we've got 2 signs. push out here. One here. Yep, that's it for that one. We've got this one, Jackson Guns and Ammo. That's a nice looking sign. Push outs, but yeah, not fully lasered. This one is though, so we should be able to get these bits out eventually. Yeah. And no signs on this one, so we've only got 3 shop signs, which is what you see on here as well. That's a bit disappointing. I was hoping there'd be extra signs that you could opt to use, but I'm not that bothered. I think they're general enough. And yeah, plenty of little push-out bits. Not that we probably won't use the push-outs in this build, but we'll certainly have them for others. Don't know if that's a push-out. I think it is. And a little square here. And there's other little push-outs that we won't push out at this stage because they have PCs on them. That's an efficient use of materials and space. So, that's our 8 sprue frames. I suppose I'll get to painting up and colouring these all up. So bye for now. See you again soon. Hello there, and we're back. So, this is the empty sprue frames here, all the MDF ones, and I've cannibalized bits and bobs of some of them. Actually, I think one of them's still through in the other room. But yeah, this is a great material and resource that we can use for all sorts of things, so that's pretty great. There's a whole bunch of the sort of push-outs and little bits and bobs as well, which we can also work with. Great little resource. Now, back to this actual build itself. So, it actually comes with 3 little signs. Here's them here. And as much as I like them and I think they're great, I couldn't quite get the lettering to stand out at all. And I thought they were a little bit on the small side. They didn't really scale well enough. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go online and see if I can find better ones. And I had a look at the Sarissa Precision website, and they had a whole sheet. It's like a whole 3D, a PDF filled with a whole bunch of Wild West signs. And I thought, that's great. So here's the first part of the build. Now, these 3 buildings are all together. They're all just like one giant homogeneous piece, but this part can be taken off separately. And this is it here. So we've turned it into a saloon, and we used the signage that we got from that sheet, and I think it's worked out rather nicely. I've also included some of my own there. And yeah, it's we've also added a few little posters just to give it a bit more character, you know, draw your eye a bit more, so that's not just a black wall, because that'd look a bit weird. And yeah, the painting that we've done on this, we've added our mulch to add on a bit of extra texture. I think that's worked an absolute charm. And then I've just gone and stippled it with various browns and, of course, our white house paint as per tradition. I think that's turned out great. I haven't had to add an extra tuft or anything. Now, you might see here that we've added acetate. You can see that shining there, which is your clear food packaging. And I've added curtains, because I thought, yeah, curtains, that's a good thing to add. And that's just using one of our old, it's just a corrugated card from coffee cups. And I think that works an absolute treat. You wouldn't know the difference. It's great. So, yeah, that's something I'm going to be doing going forward from now on. So, yep, that sign there is from that Sarissa Precision and sewed a few of these. But how did we get on with the other one? Well, here we go. Ugh. That's it all there. And yeah, I'm just picking off a few cat hairs. They seem to glue themselves to bloody everything. Now you can see here, we've got a lot more signs. That's again from the Sarissa Precision. And a whole bunch of other ones that I just found online that I made into a separate PDF document and printed out. And I've used the strips of cardboard to hide to hide a lot of this gump. You can see it here. There's a lot of these roofs are typically just completely flat and have some very obvious seams and MDF. It's what I like to call MDF kit syndrome, where you just end up with a whole bunch of obvious looking slots that you have to hide. So to hide these bits, you can see them there, I've just added some cardboard strips to form some banding, and it just adds on an extra little bit of detail, and that's worked a charm. I've added in more curtains here behind some of the windows, and then I discovered with the other windows, they really didn't need it, because when you're looking at it from up high or any other angle, it doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. But for this one, I thought I'd add in all the corrugated card for the curtains, and I think this is great. This is a lot of bang for your buck anyway. And with these extra signs and stuff, absolute charm. Now, I said I hacked the MDF sprue frames, and I've hacked it here. I've added an extra strip right there, and I've added an extra few bits right there as well, just to hide some little bits and bobs. Because you can see here, where these two bits, there's actually a big gap there. So I added a bit of MDF just to hide the gap. I think that's worked rather nicely. And again, using the MDF sprue frames, I've also created this, and I've used the corrugated card as well. And some of these, there's plenty of them, the War Painter Scenics flowery tufts. I got a few packets of them, and yeah, you get all sorts of colors. I was about to say all sorts of different flavors and colors, but no, you can't eat them. Don't try and eat them. And yeah, I made this up. And it was easy. Again, just using old MDF sprue frames, and I poured in a bunch of hot glue, a whole bunch of offcuts and things just thrown in just to space it out, and then that's just a strip of cardboard in a U shape there, just to contain it all. And then just painted in the part in there brown and glued these in, and that'll just sit right in front of our flower shop there. And yeah, I think that just kind of finishes it off, gives it an extra little subtle bit of detail. And speaking of which, if I zoom in here, you can see here we've added more of the mulch, again just to add on an extra bit of texture and detail. And I've done it with the underside here, you can see it. And yeah, because if that was just all flat, I mean, you can see it there, it looks way too flat and careful. Realistically, what I probably should have done was just go in with a knife and just kind of whittle it down ever so slightly, just on the corners so they're not as harsh, and a little bit more of the mulch. But it's good enough. I mean, when you've got miniatures and stuff on the table, you're more focused on the gameplay than anything else. But yeah, would I recommend this kit? Absolutely. And yeah, it's taken a fair bit of work, a lot of stippling, and yeah, color scheme wise, I wanted all the buildings to be slightly different colors, and I was gonna go back in with another stipple, but I thought, you know what, it's good enough. And yeah, you definitely get that Wild West aesthetic. And I was thinking that I'd probably have these kicking about in an actual town city, as opposed to some sort of like desert location where it's a one-horse town. The way these buildings are built up and the kind of prestige that they would have, they look more like they'd be in a built-up city or town. So no boardwalks needed, because the kit doesn't come with any boardwalks. And yeah, I think it's great. So, that's all I've got for you today, so thanks again for watching, and bye.